Hello everybody, Razorblade Mango here, and welcome to my top 10 most anticipated games of 2017, which is, in all honesty, my favorite list to do every year. Because as much as I enjoy talking about the games that were great, that came out the present year, I actually enjoy looking ahead even more. And what a year to look forward to. 2017, like 2015, 2016, there are a lot of games coming out that I am really eager to get my hands on. And there's so many, in fact, that I decided not to do a top 20 this year. I know I did a top 20 last year, but I'd rather just focus on the 10 that I am really excited to play. But as an honorable mention, I will just quickly go through the ones that will not be on the top 10. And yes, I have disqualified remasters and collections, so you will not see Crash Bandicoot nor Kingdom Hearts on this list. But they are honorable mentions. Definitely Kingdom Hearts Point 2. I was tempted to cheat and take out Point 2 and put that on the list, but nah, 10 is fine without Kingdom Hearts. The 10 that I have selected are more than fine without Kingdom Hearts. So, honorable mentions. Absolver, which I played a little bit of PSX and was really cool. Crash Bandicoot, which I played a little bit of PSX and was really awesome. Detroit Become Human, possibly, which looks interesting. Drawn to Death, which I played a little bit of it at PSX and was very impressed by. Gwent, which I'm playing the beta for right now, and is pretty damn cool. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which looks interesting, has been on my watch list for about 3 years now, and I just want it to come out already. Please, for the love of God, hurry up and come out. Next Machina from House Marquee, aka the Resogun guys. Again, played a little bit of it at PSX, looks really damn cool, plays really damn well. Ni no Kuni 2, looks great, liked the first one a lot, very into it. Persona 5. Yes, it's surprising it's not on the list, but it still looks cool. It's just that the other 10 looked even better, thankfully, I guess. Rime, which has recently come back into the spotlight, which looks really awesome. There's even more. Super Mario Odyssey, recently revealed, looks fucking great, can't wait to play it. What Remains of Edith Finch? Again, another game that's been on my watch list for a couple of years now. Looks really good. Played a little bit of it at PSX and remain utterly fascinated by it. So those are the honorable mentions. And now, without further ado, let's start off with number 10. First game on the list is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Now, I know some of you out there might be surprised that a little bit of add-on DLC is among the 10 games that I have selected. However, this would not have been the case if it wasn't standalone. The fact that, like Left Behind, this is going to be a standalone Uncharted game starring one of my absolute favorite characters from the series, Chloe Frazer, and teaming up with Nadine Ross, one of the villains from Uncharted 4, to find a lost artifact in India. That sounds awesome. And I think Chloe's absence from Uncharted 4 was felt by me, sadly. I wish she was there. But the fact that she's getting her own spin-off title is great. And this takes place after Uncharted 4. So this looks cool. Again, saw quite a bit of it at PSX with that 9-minute trailer. Seems to be taking a more stealthy approach than what we're used to from Uncharted. It looks nice. It looks very pretty, graphic-wise. I'm excited in the direction that they're going. I'm glad that Claudia Black is back for Chloe Frazer. And it just looks like a really cool game. Really not much to say about this one. It's Uncharted. It's a standalone game. PS4 exclusive. Should be obvious why it's on here. Number 9, and this is a close one. Resident Evil 7. From the time of recording, this game is 1 week away, and I am both dreading and looking forward to this game. Looking forward to because it looks like a dramatic departure from what we've seen from Resident Evil since 4. And as much as I love 4 and that structure, it's time for a change because 5 and 6, we're not doing the series any favors. And dreading it because it looks potentially terrifying. So, all the footage that I've seen from it so far, I've been very impressed with. I like the demo quite a bit. I think it's a really neat idea that they kept updating it, making it even scarier, adding more events, all leading up to the not only just the weirdest shit, scary, infected ending that you can get, but also the really cryptic, also weird as shit, dummy finger puzzle solving good ending that you can get, which hints at the amount of puzzle solving that Resident Evil 7 is going to have, which I don't mind, because I've been recently replaying the first Resident Evil, which I haven't touched in a long time, and going through that game again makes me ready for more quiet, creepy, claustrophobic, puzzle-solving, monster-avoiding action that the very first Resident Evil provides. Except this time, even worse, it's with a damn first-person view, which I both love and hate. I love it because it actually inspires fear within me, and where I feel like I'm actually in that moment trying to escape these people. I hate it because it actually freaks me out and makes me feel like I'm actually in that place trying to avoid these scary people. So it's a double-edged sword for me. Should be a fun game to stream. Definitely looking forward to playing it at birthday parties, friend gatherings, stuff like that. Hell, I'm going to a party a couple days after it comes out where the prominent game featured is probably going to be Resident Evil 7, and I'm going to be playing it with a bunch of friends, which is going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to not only that, I'm really looking forward to the game itself, because it should make for some really good scares. And, of course, it's built with a new engine, which looks beautiful. Runs at smooth 1080p 60 frames, even though I'm not going to get it for PlayStation VR. I do appreciate that the base version is going to be 60 frames, even on the PlayStation 4, which is great. And I hear that the file size is only 20 gigabytes, which astonishes me, because for a game that's 1080p 60 frames that has this level of detail in it, wow, they must have done some really good programming trying to get that thing down to 20 gigabytes. Hats off to you, Capcom. That's a really damn good job. And I really like that this family of this antagonists, where in the last couple of Resident Evils, we've had so many villains, so many different kinds of monsters, and that's great. I really, like Bloodborne, I love variety amongst monsters. I love having this big, colorful gallery of evil-looking creatures and villains and bosses and stuff like that. I love it. But when it comes to these tight, claustrophobic experiences, particularly like Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3 with Nemesis, I like that in this claustrophobic environment, you have 3 central villains, supposedly. 3. And repeated interactions with them will teach you to fear and respect what they're capable of, making your encounters with them all the more terrifying, because apparently they can't be killed by most of your arsenal, or if at all. So that should be awesome, kind of like an Alien Isolation influence in there. Nemesis, of course. So yeah, that's it. Resident Evil 7. I'm 1 week away, and I'm looking forward to not only playing it with friends, playing it with you guys, but playing it alone, with my headset on, in total darkness, because I'm just that much of a masochist. Number 8 is Cuphead. Again, I think I've had this game on this list for like the past 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years. And it still isn't here. Where's Cuphead? Seriously, Microsoft, Studio MDHR, where's Cuphead? Why can't I play it? It's on here, so obviously I'm looking forward to it, but I got nothing for this one. I want it to come out, I want it to be here already, because it looks awesome, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it with its animation, and I love its desire to look like an old school cartoon. That's all I got, because everything else that I've said about this game I've said in past videos. So Cuphead, I want it. Hurry up. Number 7 is Pyre from Supergiant Games. This game originally wasn't on here, and I planned on doing this list back in December, before I went to PSX. And in all honesty, I'm glad I waited until now to do it, just for Pyre, because it wouldn't be here on this list had I not played it at PlayStation Experience. And let me tell you, out of all the games that I played, which included Crash Bandicoot, Horizon Zero Dawn, Drawn to Death, like really good games that I was delighted to play, only one stood out amongst them all as easily my favorite out of everything I played, and that was Pyre. So let's start with the single player. Pyre is about you, the player character, encountering 3 outcasts out in the middle of the desert. And in order to earn the right to return to your kingdom, you have to participate in these trials of sorts, where it's almost like a sports game, where it's 3v3, you have a ball, and each team has 1 pyre. And depending on which character you take or manage to get the ball into the flame, will take off points. And whoever reaches 0 first loses. And that already sounds weird. But aside from some frame rate issues, and I played it on the PlayStation 4, it plays so well. And it's really addictive to play, even in the single player mode against AIs. And I love that this campaign, it does such really cool things. Like, it explains the lore. Like, for me, this kind of game is what I'm talking about when it comes to world building, where it gives you like on the fly dictionary definitions of like what certain words mean in this world, or certain lore bits, and it just brings you more into this unique, crazy, stylish story that they're trying to tell. And the characters are already really funny, with like multiple dialogue choices that might influence later events. The story will keep going even if you lose certain games, because that's pretty much what the journey is. It's just one match of Pyre after another, but it's branching narratives apparently, multiple dialogue choices, interesting characters, cool lore. I was really into it, and I got to play a pretty lengthy demo of it. It was around 30 to 40 minutes long, and I was completely absorbed in what I was playing, and I can't wait to play more with this game. Like, to me, this is a game that I would definitely stream for you guys, because I had such a good time playing it. And I'm not even talking about the multiplayer yet, which it has local 1v1, which I played against not only my friend Mario, who's been on the show before, against like random strangers, and I'm not very good at the multiplayer, but I still had a lot of fun playing it, where it's basically the same thing as the game, where it's, 3 teams of 3, 1v1, take the ball to the pyres, whoever gets 0 loses. And I love, besides, again, frame rate drops, I loved how fast, how tactical, how interesting, smart, strategic this gameplay is. I just immediately fell in love with this game. And makes it even better that Supergiant has like only 2 games. They've made Bastion and Transistor, but those 2 games are held with such high regard that this game, I think, might be their best yet. And I'm a big fan of Transistor. Not so much Bastion, but Transistor, oh yeah, I can definitely get behind Transistor. That was one of my favorite games of 2014. And Pyre, if everything goes well and it's as good as I think it is, we're looking at a Game of the Year contender with this thing. We really are, because plays awesomely. I loved watching it. I love the characters. I love the style. I love the concept. I love everything about this game. And I can't wait for more. Number 6 is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. God damn it, Nintendo. Ugh. Why? I want to play this. God, stop fucking up so I can actually play this game. Ah. All right. Let's focus on the game. This game looks incredible. I love that they're giving you the freedom to explore Hyrule at your own pace. There's like 100 different dungeons from what I hear. There's a fully voiced, aside from Link, of course, fully voiced story with voice acting that actually sounds relatively alright. Even I think the English version even sounds decent. Hopefully there's a Japanese dub that's included, please. The game, even like on the smaller screen that I've seen that the Switch has, looks great at like 720p. I've heard it can run 1080p 60 frames on the Switch. I think that's what I've heard. If so, that's gonna be great when I finally get it. All in all, like the music, it's not even Koji Kondo doing the music, and it sounds like wow, it sounds beautiful. Just everything I've seen from this game for the past 4 years, like 3 to 4 years, has been really compelling and has left a big positive impression on me. And I haven't gotten into a Legend of Zelda game in a long time because I don't own, like, I never owned a Wii. I never owned a Wii U. I owned a 3DS for maybe like a year before I finally got rid of it, and that was just for Dream Drop distance. So with Breath of the Wild, this game looks so good that it makes me want a Switch. Just by itself makes me want a Switch. Along with, Super Mario Odyssey, of course, but that's besides the point. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, there's a reason. I can't stress this enough. As dumb as I think Nintendo's being over this whole Switch thing, and as paltry and pathetic as I think their launch lineup is, there is a justifiable reason why Breath of the Wild is being sold, almost single-handedly to promote the Switch. Because it just looks that good. Even for a game that, is part of the Nintendo Classic lineup, it just looks that good. Where it's got just sweeping, beautiful scenery. And I know I'm using the word beautiful a lot in this section, but bear with me. It's got great music, has gameplay that looks really fun, where it actually encourages freedom in Hyrule. And I know past games have done like the open world thing, but not to this degree. And hopefully it's not like some other open world games where it's just bare stretches of land where all you do is just walk and run. I hope there are actually, major towns to explore and dynamic quests and stuff like that. Like, I hope it has that. That's my one concern about Breath of the Wild, is that all this open space is going to get tiring after a while. But besides that's my one negative. But everything else about it, it's looking really good. And I'm really looking forward to play it sometime in December or 2018 possibly. But I won't be playing this for a while. And that's why it's a little bit lower than I would have liked it. But if Nintendo wasn't fucking up, number 5 is Outlast 2. Spooky! Woo! Penis mutilation! Woo! Seriously, though, I can't wait for this game. I love the first Outlast. It's one of my favorite horror games of all time. I love the demo that came out for Outlast 2, which is great, by the way. Thank you for doing that. I wish more horror games would do that. I'm just really excited for this game. For reasons that are just, share similarities to what I said about Resident Evil 7, where I'm just masochistic and I like playing horror games, particularly ones with first-person perspectives. And I love how disturbing and gross a lot of the imagery, and not only just the demo, but like a lot of the other trailers that I've seen for it. Supposedly this one goes away from the insane asylum and focuses more on a cult-like thing. Like, I think it's the what's that movie called from Ty West? The Sacrament, where it's a lot like that, where it's this like very religious community where it has this enigmatic leader, and he's like insane. He thinks he's the second coming of Jesus and stuff like that. And he's even got his own book in the Bible. Apparently, it's really fucking weird. But all of that combined with just a character that actually talks this time, and the creepier monsters, even more disturbing environments, more grotesque dick cutting like there was in the last game. Just all that, I'm really excited to play Outlast 2. Again, dreading and excited. Dreading because I know I don't like jump scares, and I'm usually not affected by them, but I don't like them in the Outlast games because they genuinely creep me out. Or I like it as well because, again, this is another game that I will definitely stream for you guys, and I'm really, really excited to play it. It's Outlast, and it's a sequel. That's really all you need to know for horror people like me. Where, even so, I guess horror people is the wrong word. I'm not even that crazy about horror, but there's just something about the first Outlast and the way it was presented and the way it carried itself with such a presence and a confidence that I really got into, and especially with the Whistleblower DLC, which was, I'm shocked that wasn't rated adults only on the PS4. I'm shocked that wasn't refused classification in a bunch of other countries. But hopefully we get the same kind of dark, gruesome imagery, and we get the same spooky atmosphere, the same jump scares, same monsters, just with a protagonist that talks and a more personal, interesting motivation to actually be here and to go through hell. So that is looking really good. So Outlast 2. Why do I do this to myself? Number 4 is Sony's Horizon Zero Dawn. Yet another game that I had on the list last year that is coming out this year in 1 month, no less. So that's good, unless it gets delayed again, which I hope not. But again, I won't keep this very long. This has the potential to be the next big thing from PlayStation, which already makes it a part of my watch list. And I played a little bit of it. Really didn't give me a good idea of like what to expect, but it was enjoyable. The gameplay is good. It feels smooth. Feels great to shoot down one of those beasts and then ride around on it after you tame it. It's really cool. The world looks incredible. It's apparently it's this new engine that was so good that Hideo Kojima decided to use it for Death Stranding. So that's promising. That's exciting. It's got a very compelling protagonist so far. It's voiced by the woman who voiced Chloe from Life is Strange, so that makes me really excited. I thought I recognized her voice, and it just looks really cool, and it's gotten the world's attention since it debuted almost 2 years ago at E3. So this has been in the works for a while, and we're finally going to get our hands on it next month, like literally the last day of February. So it's still a little bit of a wait, but it's hopefully will be worth it in the end. And even though I'm not a big fan of guerrilla games, and I really, really hated the last Killzone, I'm hoping for good things for Horizon Zero Dawn because I really, really want this to be good. Out of all the games on here, I think this is the one that I'd be the most heartbroken if it didn't turn out to be fucking amazing. So, Horizon Zero Dawn. Really looking forward to this one as a PlayStation fan. Number 3 is Yuka Laylee, made by Rare. I know they're not Rare, they're Platonic Games, but they're people made up from Rare. And now in an age where Rare is making unrare games, this is more rare than Rare is right now. Because it's one of these platforming collectathon games. And I'm not normally like a big fan of this kind of game. I like certain games from it. I really like Banjo-Kazooie. I think Banjo-Kazooie is my favorite out of all the original Rare games. But with this new game, with Yooka-Laylee now, especially given that it's going to be for PC and next-gen systems, and it was kickstarted, huge success, got a lot of pedigree behind it, really nice looking gameplay that I've seen, really good gameplay that I've actually gotten to play from the toy box that they had because I did pre-order it on PC, and I'm hooked. I want more, and I'm loving everything I'm seeing from the game so far. I love its colorful worlds. I love its goofy characters. I love the music by Grant Kirkhope and David Wise, which is great as expected. I even love and I'm not usually big on collecting stuff, but I really like the collecting elements, at least from the toy box. I know it's going to be a lot more expansive and a lot more challenging in the actual game, but this small taste that you get from the toy box is intoxicating. And it makes me want more. And it makes waiting until April all the more agonizing. So, I'm hooked. And I want more. And I'm really, really hoping this game is a big success. It's already a big success now. And for me, this is how you do a game correctly on Kickstarter. You come in with a lot of quality assets that are actually reflective of the final game. You show plenty of footage. You be open and honest with your fans. You show your fans what you're actually going to be spending their money on. You give them reasonably done stretch goals. Not have ports for everything under the sun for it. It's pretty much just Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, PC. I believe that's all it is. And that's fine. That's good. The less they have to focus on, the better. So, with that being said, I am very excited, and I do think this could be the game that propels Kickstarter back into the good graces of the mainstream, because with disasters like Mighty Number 9 happening, I can tell why people would be very skeptical about Kickstarter, but I think this will be the one that will get people back into it. Because it looks like a damn fine game. And I am excited as all hell to get my hands on it. Number 2 is South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Or Fractured Butthole. Whatever you like to put more emphasis on. Either way, this game is shaping up to be one hell of a thing. Of course, it's a sequel to one of the best licensed games of all time. Maybe the best, if I were to think about it more. Maybe the best. Based on a TV show, no less, which you very rarely ever see. And the difference was that Stick of Truth was actually made and written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So unlike past South Park games, these guys were actually involved with the making of the game. And that's the same with The Fractured Butthole. And not only are they going to bring the same great writing, same great sense of humor to it, I think the gameplay improvements that they've showcased so far are really cool. It brings kind of a turn-based strategy element to it, where you have to align your players along grids. You can knock characters into other environments for extra damage. You can surround them, stuff like that. It's all very deep. It's very like deep strategic gameplay. And in an era where Ubisoft is homogenizing a lot of their franchises from being strategic, like Ghost Recon, for example. Ghost Recon used to be a very strategic game, and now it just looks like The Division 2.0, except with a larger open world. But South Park looks more strategic than Ghost Recon, which is kind of weird. And it's weird as well that if they weren't releasing like a deluxe and then like an ultimate edition for it, I wouldn't know this was Ubisoft, because this is a game that seems to be taking risks, taking chances, where the majority of Ubisoft games like to just rest on their laurels and just play it very safe. This is a game that actually seems to be striving for new ideas, new gameplay mechanics, different things. And they could have easily just taken the Stick of Truth formula and slapped a superhero skin over it. But no, it looks like they're going the extra mile with it, which is great and something that I'm really, really excited to see. And of course, being a big, lifelong fan of South Park, any South Park I can get, I'm gonna take it, because I love South Park. It's one of my favorite properties ever, like ever since I was like 9 when I first saw the South Park movie. So South Park has a lot of nostalgic value to me, but seeing it done justice in not only like the Stick of Truth, but potentially here as well, it's just a thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And please, I hope this game turns out to be just as good, if not better, than Stick of Truth. Number 1, as should be obvious for anyone who knows me, is Rockstar Games' Red Dead Redemption 2. So, I made a video a couple months ago, showing off, like my problems with, or my problems, but my concerns with the game. With the multiplayer and the potential overemphasis on it and the microtransaction-driven crap that they're probably going to do with it. Even with that caveat, even with those concerns, I am still excited as fuck, ecstatic, eagerly anticipating the day that I finally will get my hands on Red Dead Redemption 2. Open world games are probably my favorite genre ever, and Rockstar, in my opinion, is the king of the open world genre. They are the titan that started it all with Grand Theft Auto, and ever since then, they've just been on a roll, making one awesome game after another. Like, you look at all the Grand Theft Auto games from Vice City and on. First Red Dead Redemption, which is one of my all-time favorite games. Max Payne 3, which is amazing. Bully, which I think is one of the most underappreciated properties ever, and I'm still annoyed to this day that Rockstar hasn't made a sequel to it. Even like not lesser, but like more obscure, weird things that they've done, like Manhunt is interesting. That table tennis game that they had is interesting. Midnight Club, and I'm not even a big realistic car racing guy, but Midnight Club is awesome. And please, I want new Bully and new Midnight Club. Please, Rockstar. After you're done with Red Dead Redemption 2, one of those two properties, please. I want that next on your list to do. But back to Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2, just from that opening trailer that they have, it looks amazing. Like, the things that they're able to do, and that they solely can focus on the PS4 and Xbox One. Oh, it's just, wow. Stunning is the right word. Just stunning to look at. I'll be a little disappointed if it turns out to be a prequel and it has John Marston in it. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping it's a new story. But even if it does have John Marston in it, I'm still really looking forward to this, because Rockstar, just when I think they can't outdo the structure that they already have, they go in and like outdo themselves. They innovate each time. When Grand Theft Auto 5 initially came out, I didn't think 3 protagonists would work. And I was really like, about 3. But they proved me wrong. And now, whenever I see a game, an open world game that has multiple protagonists, I'm like, shit, this could be really good, because it's the way they did it, it's a change of scenery, change of tone, and even like they went to the trouble of adding in very subtle, like a very subtle color tint whenever you'd be playing as a certain character. With Trevor, it's orange, Michael, it's blue, Franklin is green. And it's very subtle. It's just like little things that they do that are amazing, that stand Rockstar apart from the competition. And I think everybody, now that like when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out and it delivers with like this great single player campaign, I think that will finally shut people up about single player games not mattering anymore. Because I think with the success of, thankfully, Titanfall 2, or the acclaim from like Titanfall 2 and Doom and all these other games that have campaigns in them, when Rockstar comes back after a couple of years of working on this game, it will just shut everybody up. They'll see how great Red Dead Redemption 2 is, and they will look at that and go, wow, it's going to sell hot, going to sell gangbusters, it might not top like the $1 billion that the GTA 5 made in 3 days, but this will be a heavy hitter. This is gonna be like another like sleeping giant that's come back to like roam the land, if I may use a fantasy metaphor. But I cannot stress how important Rockstar Games is to the industry. How much of a debt most of these publishers owe to it. And how large of an influence their games have on not only just like other games, but like generations of consoles and generations of games. Like GTA is the thing that started it all. And Rockstar has not rested on its laurels. Rockstar hasn't sat back and let the competition take over. Nope. They will take their time with a game. They don't churn out sequel after sequel like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed do. They will sleep. They'll go quiet. They'll create. But then when they come back, bam! It's a fucking lightning rod. Just boom! Coming down and lighting the world afire. That's what Rockstar is. That's what Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be. And that's why it's my most anticipated game of 2017. Hands down out of all of them. Cannot fucking wait for Red Dead Redemption 2. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know what your most anticipated games of 2017 are. And aside from the top 10 films, top 10 best and worst films of the year lists that are going to be coming in a couple months, that's it as far as the end of the year stuff goes. And I'm glad, because I always end with my favorite one to do out of all of them. So, thank you guys for watching. Look forward to Kingdom Hearts, Resident Evil 7 next week. Woo! Have a good one, guys. Take care.